Oh, bother, I didn't see you come in. I was just looking at all the kooky ideas I had before they made the final sketch of Midna. Oh, those fellows down at Nintendo, I say. Now, I know why you're here. I've not made a video in a long while, but I have good news for you, sir or madam. I'm making one today, and it's on how to make Midna's helmet. This has been the most requested video that I make for a long while, but I kind of pushed it aside due to its complexity, and I was kind of, lazy. So, this is how to make Midna's helmet, and I hope you enjoy it. Jolly good. Okay, here we go again on another gamer prop. Now first, you're going to get your foam sheets. I use these to make the Fierce Dowdy sword, link in the description if you want to see that too. But for now, we're working on Midna's helmet. So, take this, put it at the back of your head about just to where your neck starts. So, right about here, right? So about down, and you're going to wrap around. Now, it's not going to fully fit, of course. Well, actually, if you have a smaller head, it just might, and if that works, perfect. If not, what I'm going to do is just kind of curve it in like this, and I'm going to put a face shield over it. The reason I'm doing this is because I want it to go down to my neck, and I want to try to find the top of my head. So, right about there. I'm going to get my pencil, and I'm going to try and mark even though I can't see. There we go. So my little mark is right here. So just in case, I'm going to add an extra inch to it, and then I'm going to cut a line straight across, and I'm going to cut all these little lumps off for the little puzzle pieces, I guess. So I've been looking at the Hyrule Historia, at the pictures of Midna's helmet, just kind of getting different angles on it, and I've kind of changed my plans. So I'm going to keep what I already made, but instead of having it up here, I'm going to put it right around here, and it's going to cover, I think, what was the left eye? Yeah, it's going to cover my left eye, so I'll cut the little nose part out, this will wrap around here, and then I'll cover this little section up later. So, what I'm going to do is put that where it should be, so it covers my eye, feel out my ear, put a little mark on that ear, feel out this ear, put a little mark on that ear. And now that I know where my ears are, I'm going to trace it out. So this is what I basically cut out. So there's a little earpiece here, comes right around and covers the eye. There's room for your ear there. So this is the beginning to what I'm hoping will turn out to be a good helmet. So, take your old design, put it on the piece again, and if you see, I'll try to post as many pictures as I can on the site, and I'll put the link in the description. But at the back of the helmet here, there's two little spikes, almost kind of like the top of a castle. So I'm going to draw those out a little bit bigger than this. So I cut the two pieces out and I accidentally made a mistake. I forgot that this part comes around more to the left than it does to the right, so when this attaches on, the two spikes will kind of be off-centered. So that means I have to drag it over this way a bit, which is going to put it around here somewhere. So I'm just going to draw that out, look in the mirror and draw it out, and then I'm just going to glue it right on and I'll work with that. Now when you get your foam, you're going to glue it on. Make sure it's actually pretty low. A lot of people are gluing it really up high and then it ends up looking really off. So if you pay close attention to the picture, the little bend doesn't actually happen until a little bit above the ear. So here's the ear spot. So I'm just going to move it to right about there. And I have my line drawn on here. So it's going to be right about there and I'm going to glue it right there. Just make sure before it dries that it's even, so one side's not higher than the other. There we go, so I'm going to let that dry. And then after it dries, I'm going to put a little bit more glue right along these edges, just to make sure it stays in. So the good thing about hot glue is that it dries really quick. Now this part you're going to have to be a little fast about. So go right in the edges here. Just put glue all the way around. If you can stick it under, even better. So you want to go quick, and I'll show you why in just one second. There we go. And while it's still hot, make sure you bend it into shape, because that's already breaking the glue I already put in there. So I've glued it and shaped it a bit. Now it kind of holds that shape a bit better, but still I want to keep pressure on it, just because I don't want it all cracking and have to re-glue it. So it's quickly starting to be, look more and more like the helmet, which I'm glad. I was really afraid it wouldn't. So next we're going to make the faceplate there, the one that everybody recognizes and knows. And for that we're going to use another sheet, and tracing it out is going to be a bit difficult to make it symmetrical, and I'm going to try and put as many pictures as I can up on the website, which is orangespy.tk, and I'll put a link in the description. So I'm going to draw the faceplate. So this is probably going to take me a little while, trying to get the dimensions right and everything, but I'll give it my best shot. Okay, as you can see, the pencil doesn't show up. Ouch. Pencil doesn't show up very well on the rubber. Actually, you can see it better on the camera than you can in person. So what I did is I made the basic shape, and now I'm going to cut it out so I can get a better idea of what it may or may not look like. Just kind of looking at the picture there, the spikes are a little bit lower than this little, on the top of the mask there. So what I'm going to do is just kind of measure a bit. So if these are a bit lower, and then the mask goes to right above the eyebrow. Yes, that means it's going to be all the way down here. It's not too bad, I guess. I'm just going to move this up though. So I'm going to keep working with this, but I'm going to cut it out in the interest of saving time. Okay, so I got this little part here, and what this little part's going to do is I'm going to be able to bend this together, and it makes it one full helmet. So I'm going to get my hot glue gun again. Oh, I kind of glued it to this. There we are. There we go. Now the entire time this is drying, you're gonna have to hold it, so be ready to wait for a while. Okay, so I put that little piece on. It's kind of underneath the belt, but I put the belt on just to kind of hold it in place while it dries, because if you don't, it's gonna fall apart and it's really thin. Hopefully the entire face shield will stick on a lot easier and keep it together. So here's hoping. So now I'm just gonna work on that front plate again. Now it's kind of boxed off. I cut it out a bit to kind of get the basic shape of it. So from the pictures I'm seeing here, it's straight down and curves then, and there's a bit of an outward curve and it really curves. And now it looks like it comes almost straight down, kind of another little curve, and then it folds right back in. I added another little piece here just to the top. The actual helmet has this part's missing up here. So I can't do that now, so I'm going to have to kind of modify it a little bit. I don't really like doing that because it kind of goes away from the natural design, but I end up doing it with every tutorial, and like usual I always wing these things and I try to get them done as fast as I can so I can get this out to you guys and you guys can kind of like improve on it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trace this right here to kind of that shape but a little bit improved, and then I'm going to try and stick it right on. So I kind of built this up a little bit. I put this little part here and this little part here just to kind of give more support to this. So I'm going to put this right on here, curve it around, glue it right on as tight as I can, and then I'm going to let that dry before I even try and touch anything else on it. And then I'm going to start putting in the designs and bumping up little things. Alright, so everything's kind of glued up, ready to go, and I'm going to start putting the details on. Sorry about my appearance here, but I just got off work and it was a long shift, so I don't feel like putting real clothes on right now, so pajamas it is. So anyways, I'm going to take this part here. It comes with the tiles. It's like a little edge piece basically. I'm going to snip all of these off. There we go. Now as you can see, this bends pretty well. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm going to start making the design. So it's going to start up here, it's going to wind over here, and then it's going to drop right down to the center. So that goes up a bit more, I guess. It's right about there. So I'm going to cut it a bit, but not too much. You always want extra, because if you have too less, then you have to restart with an entire new piece. So I'm going to start gluing all this on. I'm just going to use hot glue like normal, and I'm going to have to hold it into place because it wants to bend back into its original shape. So once again, I'm using the picture here, and like I said already multiple times, but I'll say it again, I'll put these pictures on the website so you guys can look at them. So there we are. Both snakes are kind of put on. Next I'm going to work on the eyes. So I noticed a lot of people when they made their cosplay, they really made the circle stand out, and I personally didn't like the look of it. So I'm going to make it a bit flatter and a bit smaller, put it right on there, and then I'm going to punch in the designs all around the rest of it. That's going to take quite a bit of time, but hopefully it turns out looking pretty good in the end. Alright, I added a little extra patch there just to kind of build the eye up. So now instead of having a little dip, it kind of smooths right out. I think it just might make it look a bit better and kind of help me make the eye pop out a bit more. So right now I'm just going to get a piece of foam and kind of guesstimate how big the eye should be and draw it out. Alright, so I'm going to smooth this out a little bit, and I'm going to have to use a knife to cut out the center, but that's the general size I'm going to go with. Actually, I might make it a bit smaller than that. Yeah, I will. I'll make it a bit smaller than that first. So in the end, what I had to do is I cut it right in half for ease of like kind of cutting at the center, because I couldn't do it with scissors or a knife because it's a bit more durable than I thought. And then I'm just going to glue them together like that, right on the eye. So I'm going to place it right about here, and then I'll trace out the rest of the eye. Alright, we're kind of moving on to the final stages now. So I have the eye in. I put this little extra support piece back here just to kind of keep this flat and to kind of hold it onto the helmet a bit more. And it kind of looks, I don't know, bad when just the bump was sticking out. So now it kind of has more of a shape, I guess. So now I'm going to get my screwdriver. I'm going to start to punch out all the designs that were on here. So this is probably going to take a while. Yeah, I'll try and speed it up as much as I can for you guys. But here goes nothing. Alright, so I finally finished punching and tracing all the shapes I wanted, so it kind of gives it more depth and detail. Make sure when you're punching it you actually push really hard, because you actually have to cut the foam, because if not you're just kind of denting it and then it pops back out. So this is what it looks like. I'll give it a quick spin around. I'll post the pictures on the website for if you want to do the same kind of design. What some people don't notice, but if you kind of paid attention, the eye on the mask is the same as Majora's mask if you compare the two eyes, and the eye in the back is the same as the Sheikah symbol, or the lens of truth, whatever you want us to call it. So there's one step left to this, and I'll show you what that is right now, and then we're done. So we've almost finished up. Last, I'm going to get my hot glue gun. Gonna need the glue stick though. And you're gonna get your orange shirt. You can also get an orange wig, but I prefer just do the shirt, just because wigs, too much hair to deal with, I guess. So I'm gonna put it right on this inner brim that I made earlier. So right here. I'm just gonna put dabs of glue all around it, or I could just fill the whole thing with glue. It doesn't really matter, I guess. There it goes. And I'm going to stick the shirt in there. So I'll get the shirt and try and stick it all around. I don't know how well this is going to stick, just because it's fabric, but it's worth a shot. There we go. That actually worked a lot better than I thought it would. It's actually made a pretty good stick. So now that that's kind of drying, be very careful, but I'm going to cut this into shreds basically. So just kind of frill this up a little bit, just kind of make it, pop out everywhere. This is another one of the edge pieces that they kind of put on the end to make it look even. So I'm going to get some glue, stick it right on the edge here. I'm going to fold it over and hold it right here and let it dry. It's probably going to take a little bit. Okay, this is dry for the most part, but I'm just going to get another little piece and stick it underneath. And just stick it on, just kind of a little bit of extra support. There we go. And that's stuck on. And I get all the hair here, or shirt that I made look like hair, tried to make look like hair, and just kind of pull it through. And there we go. So the hair kind of sticks up a little bit, so I'm just going to glue the hairband we just made to the top of the helmet. There we go, just like that. So there's not a lot of glue holding it on or anything like that. It's just to kind of make it stick up a little bit. And that was the final step. So that's how to make the Midna helmet. It was a lot simpler than I thought it would be in the end, but it still took a long time, especially punching all the designs in. So if you have any questions, email me at orange.spy@hotmail.com. If you want to know what I'm building next before everybody else, add us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. And it's basically all I can say. So if you liked it, like it and favorite us, and subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff. So take it easy.